But Zimbabwe's crisis is not just limited to petrol. The country has adopted drastic austerity measures to jumpstart the economy and to preserve foreign currency. A cash crisis has also led to shortages of essential drugs and stocks, and doctors in the country are now striking, demanding better working conditions. Joseph Usha stayed to talk to us on this one. What's happening in Zimbabwe? I mean, we all had hope and optimism when President Emmerson Mnangagwa took over, but we seem to be in a bigger, deeper crisis, so to speak, since then.
So people are saying we're almost back to 2008, really. It's kind of not raining but pouring in Zimbabwe. I think they failed to really get together. Politically, there's still a stalemate. The opposition is still saying, well, you really didn't win. The new Minister of Finance has come up with some austerity measures to try and rescue the situation. But I think it's not enough. He cut 5% salary hike on the cabinet or senior government officials. And people are saying that's really not enough. The currency issue in Zimbabwe, I think what they need to be doing is to adopt one single currency rather than the basket, because you still see the bond notes, which is supposedly the local currency, which was supposed to be equivalent to the US dollars, being traded into the streets. If you go into a bank, you don't get the money, but if you go to the streets, you certainly get the money. So what people are doing now, because of the disparity where the bond note is trading forward to the US dollar, people then are holding fuel to be able to sell it, and certainly for Christmas as well, when most families want to go to the rural areas or for holidays with their families. So people are stocking purely out of fear, and possibly justified so, because it's just been taking long for government to solve the fuel crisis.
So what happens if Zimbabwe actually thinks about adopting the rand? That was been one suggestion put forward. What happens for that country, and are there any consequences for our currency if that happens?
Well, I think politically the two countries need to be able to talk to each other. As Zimbabwe imports about 60% of its consumables from South Africa. The current trade deficit, obviously, against Zimbabwe, but surplus for South Africa is about 12 billion. So the trade is in favor of SA, and it would make sense because, South Africa is really like the shopping city for Zimbabweans. If they do adopt, then certainly I think it will reduce the flight of currencies or capital out of Zimbabwe, because when people get the dollar, they go and change it and obviously find its way into South Africa to buy goods.
All right, thank you so much for your time and your insight on both those stories.